Hello, good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for the Overwatch Pretenders semi-final game number 2. I am Threepwood, and I am joined by the effervescent Forebears.
Forebears. Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm really excited to be here. I had the privilege to cast the previous semifinal as well, so I'm glad to be back for a back-to-back return tour. We got SWIYA versus Lightbringers, and with 7 seconds left on the clock to assemble your heroes, we're gonna have a bit of time to talk about just a semifinal and the journey everyone came to get here. SWIYA being a bit of a sleeper hit, just in the beginning, or rather end of the season for Group 2. I think a lot of people had their eyes on Nova. A lot of people had their eyes on Action News Team and Night Ops to take it, but no, it was SWIYA who ended up the top of their bracket, playing up against Lightbringers, who had a bit of a polarizing season. All their games being either 4-0s or 0-4s, but nonetheless, they are still here in the semifinals. Threepwood, thoughts?
Man, honestly, we did call it on the podcast. I said that was going to be a really rough match for Nova, and it was. I'm so happy that they still took a map off of them, because literally only 2 teams can claim that. From the ever-dominant Alpine Wolves. But now we have a really interesting match on our hand, as Lightbringers are going to be going up against the glorious SWIYA, a new contender to the league, and frankly, I'm really looking forward to this.
And it's going to be a bit of a different, and it's going to be a bit of an interesting meta matchup with a standard Goats comp with Ana playing up against into a bit of a more of a traditional dive. And we are just going out, and people are just, that's a huge anti-nade over from the side of Silver Sacks, and people are just picking up Dork, getting 2 on both Pigdog and Jaharo. Aeon getting picked over on Nico, and that is going to be an LB point through and through. Well, here setting up once again.
Holy moly. So that was a very handy defense coming out there. I super like seeing that kind of play. It just goes to show you that just because you're running the dominant comp at the time, that doesn't mean you're going to get the win every time.
Of course, and by the way, I said Silver Sacks before, I meant Cypher. Of course, Cypher's anti-nades, known to be a bit of a hallmark here of Group 1, really integral to their push here to playoffs, that's for sure. And it looks like we're seeing another sort of around the side flank, another massive anti-nade on all 3 tanks. Actually, Coxbox, or Stands rather, going up in the air, Pigdog being slept, but nanoed. And it looks like Coxbox now devoting Primal to the cause, is pushing people off point. Fishling and Dork each getting a pick on Sipto and Pigdog. Aeon, of course, getting that pick, and Silver Sacks looking for that quick, hard reset.
So that was, again, let's look at the old economies. Let's look at what just happened. That's 2 minutes of Overwatch. We've got a Diva Bomb about to come online. Shatter and barriers ready to go. I'm not seeing any weakness on the defending side. Lightbringers have just been really taking it to task. They have Nano Blade in the back pocket, a Diva Bomb and barriers of their own. SWIYA needs to make excellent use of their ults if they're going to make this push a success.
And it looks like they're going for that angle once again, you know, going up on that back line, Pigdog, and we're going to be seeing a Nano Blade picking up a quick Silver Sacks, and even though that beat does come out, Dork gets 3 in 1 swipe!
What an unbelievable use! Oh, that's a 5k! A perfect 5k! Only...
And, I mean, it depends on if you consider the mecha person, that's for sure. I'm going to say it's a 5.5k right there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Really, really excellent ult economy coming out from Lightbringers.
And look, there it is. They have that Tracer Bomb set up again, and they managed to pull that off, getting Nico early out in that second push. SWIYA, however, they're building up to a really tasty set of ults here. This could be a good push for them.
And it looks like instead of going around, they are taking a bit of that high ground and trying to put pressure on Coxbox, and will get that quick pick with that Shatter devoted to the fight, even though a giant anti-nade does come out. Silver Sacks does go down with Fishling's Pulse Bomb, and it looks like they're still trading one-on-one, dropping on point with a minute left to go, as Figs and Aeon and Dork are just stalling on point, even though Sipto Nico does go down. It looks like Aeon does still devote Bomb to the cause, along with that sound barrier. It looks like they want this to be last fight, and they will look to stagger Costanza for as long as they can.
So I was gonna, just mention something when the match started, but I wanted to see how it goes. Now I can say this safely. I thought Tracer was out of the meta. Fishling, what are you doing? You're doing just a little too well. You have ult all ready for the next fight. Your kill count is through the roof. What is going on?
That's very true, and I think it's those Doomfist nerfs and those Brig nerfs that are really bringing Tracer and Genji back into the meta. We see Fishwick and Dork showing what that's capable of. As once again, it looks like the single in your area tank line is going to be going up, taking the high ground. Fishwick getting that pick once again on Silver Sacks. You know, taking care of those sports is going to be really, really important. And both grab and rally come up from the side of SWIYA, and that nano blade once again just looking to clean up. It looks like Dork once again is doing what Dork does best, and that's making 3 people of SWIYA go down. As both Sifto and Nico are the only one left on the point to defend for themselves, and that's going to be a full hold on the side of Lightbringers. 3 bullet thoughts.
What an unbelievable game just now. If I had to pick a singular MVP, I would say the entire Lightbringers team. That was such seamless play. And I mentioned this on the podcast. I had the chance to see Lightbringers form as a team, excuse me, bless me, from the beginning when my original team, Seven Sins, was scrimming against them for the first time. And we thought that, you know, they were a great team. Oh, they did such a fantastic job. I forget how the scrim went, but I think we did pretty well, Seven Sins did. And then I think we played Lightbringers in our first match of the season, and they obliterated us. And we're continuing to see that now. That was a flawless defense. Not a single tick was surrendered. Ult economy was perfect. They always had those glorious little green check marks waiting for SWIYA to run into. Now SWIYA at best can force a tie, and frankly, that would be an incredible victory for them if they can pull that off.
Of course, SWIYA, I think a lot of people very much saw them as the best GOATS team in the league. And of course, with the meta just coming up and changing so drastically within this past week, I want to say that SWIYA was a little tough or a little hard to adjust right there. You know, even though after those 2 pushes, I would have expected a Pharmercy, or I would have expected perhaps maybe a dive of their own, or maybe like a dive GOATS of their own, but it looks like they still wanted to stay on what they knew best. And I think that eventually did lead to the flexibility of Lightbringers eventually winning over that round.
Now I want to argue that hilariously, Lightbringers is now going to be bringing GOATS to the stage to try and take point A, which I guess is fair because all they need is a single tick. But I think SWIYA, you're right. I don't think they're the opposite of the Boston Uprising in Stage 3 yet. I think they still have a shot at this.
Of course, and you know, of course, and it looks like Lightbringers is going to be going this really, really sneaky point, just going under and they're crouching and just going on point, and it looks like they're immediately going to have their eyes set on Jaharo and Pig Dog. Hotbox trying his best to win that Ryan duel. Hotbox does get pick on Sifto, Dork on Pig Dog, but they're just trading back and forth. Dork getting 2 over on Costanza as well. Jaharo getting picked up on Hotbox. Nico playing into that McCree, which is really, really important, because he is running that new McCree, perhaps as maybe as a tech counter to that Reinhardt. But it looks like SWIYA did hold that point with Jaharo and Silver Sacks, closing it out, taking those picks on Aeon Nova, and of course keeping that super high charge Zarya well fed.
That's super good news for SWIYA, super bad news for Lightbringers. They managed to hold that point, and ultimately they came down to a 2v2, I guess a 1.5 v2, and it looks like ooh, they're going to take that same sneaky route again.
And I'm excited to see what we're going to have here. Cockcross coming in half on his Shatter. And once again, you see Jaharo dropping down first. It looks like the tank line here of SWIYA.
And we have a pause coming out.
Actually, hold that thought. It looks like we are grabbing a pause. I believe Cypher said her pings were going from 100 to 300, kind of spiking wildly, and we know how crucial supports are.
Indeed.
To Lightbringers pressuring force, that's for sure.
So what I think I'm really enjoying SWIYA's defense here, specifically because they've got that coordination point down. You notice Jaharo is always the first to drop. Clearly they have their sound effect settings turned up to the appropriate amount, aka 100. And Jaharo, they can hear them coming in. Oh, it looks like we're unpausing. This is going to be funny.
Hold that thought. And it looks like immediately we do have that bubble here on Pig Dogs. Pig Dogs is going to be a bit more aggressive, trying to get those picks early. That's going to be a huge anti on the side. And Shatter picking up a quick Figs, a quick Tox Box, and Fishling following soon after. This time Aeon was able to get away and not be trickled instead electing to reset. Now, something I'm really impressed with is how well Lightbringers is able to reset. I feel like when you go in comp games, it's always that one Genji going out or that one Lucio just wanting to be a Reddit Lucio. But I'm really impressed with them being able to group up here.
Right, and so as we were mentioning earlier, Jaharo's doing a great job of being that first person to drop. When a GOAT's team sees a target in front of them, the reaction is to attack them. That means Jaharo pops self-bubble and gets an incredible amount of charge immediately, and they're already at Grav ahead of Dork.
Of course, and of course Fishling also with Rally, so I'm expecting to see that come out right there, yep, and we're going to be seeing that grab on Festing Woman in the area, and that Nano into Pig Dog getting a quick 3-man. That a lot of that cleave damage is going to make sure that Pig Dog has his ult next fight, something that Lightbringers will need to play around.
So that was really, really difficult for them to be caught in that situation for Lightbringers, but they pulled the Grav. That's huge.
Right.
You can block a Shatter. And Diva can technically block a Grav, but most Zaryas these days know how to strut their stuff and avoid that getting
Right, we
beaten
did
from
see
the
that
DM.
wall shot, right? He shot at the wall, and so
Yeah.
that's really sucked everyone in.
So now, however, it's going to be a Shatter battle between the Reinhardts. Dork is going to have to build to Grav. Coxbox has a great opportunity to build to another Shatter very quickly.
And it looks
Blocked!
like that reverse
No, it
shatter
wasn't
on
blocked!
the back is going to happen. That's going to be also a high one coming in from Nico. I was just about to say, I think Nico is going to be the playmaker here because it is those stuns. And it's going to be that high ground presence that's going to, you know, hopefully for SWIYA make sure they win that point. But it looks like that might not be the story here as Coxbox picks up 2 in Pig Dog and Sipto. Even if Costanza does get the pick on Aeon, it still could be anyone's game. I feel like that rally from Fishling is going to be maybe one of the nails in that coffin along with that, it looks like we're going for another pause.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the incessant pause music that you're going to be hearing. Big bro, why you got to do this to me? But no, I totally understand. As when faced with adversity, we must resort to puns. So I have attempted to mute the audio for the desktop game. We're going to see if that has anything to do with alleviates our viewers. And it looks like we actually have had a disconnect. Technical difficulties, of course, and since Cypher was the one who is having those ping spikes, I see it as no surprise at all that they are in fact the ones to fall. Does Lightbringers win this fight? They had a disconnect. Was Cypher on the point? Because if Cypher was on the point, that actually is going to be a loss of a character on the point. Okay.
On the team is going to give them enough sustain despite the anti-nade that's already on them.
Right, and I can definitely see how that would be a major issue. Of course, we also now have the problem of Coxbox is about, as predicted, to build another Shatter.
Right.
He's way ahead of Pig Dog, and if they continue swinging away with that freedom that they have, given that they still have, despite the loss of Cypher, 2 supports ready and available, plus a Diva, plus a Zarya, I have a feeling they're going to get Shatter next, and then I think what's going to happen is they're probably going to toss it out. Now, it's going to be up to Pig Dog to not only stay alive, but see if they can also get a block in there. Again, 1 tick, but there's only 35 seconds left. SWIYA has a great opportunity for the tie. Again, they've been doing a fantastic defense of their own. Definitely impressed, so I feel like it really still honestly could go either way.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I definitely think it could go either way too. They were talking about maybe subbing in Hornet to wrap out the game just because they don't know if Cypher's going to be back over here, but I think regardless of what they do, I do want to say that this is going to be a Lightbringers point. As much as I love SWIYA and as much as I love playing with and scrimming against everybody here on the SWIYA team, I just have to say that right now, numbers don't lie, and the numbers say it is a 4v2.
Right. It is a shame for the glorious SWIYA. However, it looks like Cypher has returned, and I believe we are about to get started as soon as we possibly can. And Cypher will have to confirm that they are ready to go. We once again apologize for this incessant contested beeping because, you know, sometimes that's just how it works.
Of course. Yeah, it will. And this is going to go... But in the meanwhile, I do think, or rather, can we talk about the other semifinal for a little bit?
Absolutely. I unfortunately wasn't able to make it. No, I was casting another game.
Oh my goodness, dude. Yeah. The Alpine Wolves Nova game was excellent. You know, it did end up being a 3-1 on the side of Alpine Wolves, but Nova played such a strong game. Their control game is incredible. And if you want to see one game, watch that game on Oasis, and everybody just really brought their A game.
Is that the map that Nova won?
And that is the map that Nova won, yeah. But it was a close win, I'll tell you that. Alpine Wolves, you know, still remaining as dominant as they were at the beginning of the season, and it looks like both teams are ready, coming up on this unpause.
All right, and we are going to get back to the action hot and heavy. This is going to be a rough unpause for everyone to come in. It's okay, you know, when you get unpaused from, you know, a brief moment, and you can get pretty much right back into the action. And here we go, but this is going to be rough. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, but Cypher is going to be back at their spawn.
That was going to finish off Silver Sacks.
Getting that pick.
Oh, God.
And Nico, and they're starting to put more cap pressure on the point with that group coming in from Fishling. And it looks like Sipto getting just hit by that rally whip shot. And even though Lightbringers have those 2 disconnects, they do bring that point just from their dominant presence on that first point hold. And we got to check out the play of the game. We've been talking about Dork and Fishling this entire match and how great of a DPS duo they are, and this is exactly a reason why. Silver Sacks going down first, followed by a fantastic anti from Cypher and a 3-in-1 slice, wrapping up with just like a shot over in melee.
Utterly ridiculous. It's no shock at all whatsoever that he gets the card there for his ridiculous quantity of kills. Their defense was so point-oriented despite the quantity of... I'm sorry. I'm at a loss for words. Dork, you know what? And literally left me speechless.
And he has a speechless-inducing gameplay style. You know, that's definitely true. And I really think it was those DPS and specifically Cypher with their phenomenal anti-nades that really won them those first 2 team fights and allowed them to really snowball the ults as they did. Just a quick reminder that similar to last semifinal, we will be having a poll set up very soon to vote for your man of the match. So be sure to check that out in the match announcements channel. And also to stick around for halftime because there might be some very, very stellar announcements.
Why are you like this, forbearance?
Why? I'm not saying anything unless you want to tell them what we're announcing.
Oh, fine. But I don't want to give away all of our secrets.
No.
Without further ado, I'm not going to say a dang thing, but I will urge you that once we hit Game 2, the conclusion of Game 2, and we cut to halftime, wait, don't go away, we are going to tune into a special little reveal right after the conclusion of Game 2, before the beginning of halftime, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I think you guys will really like it, because it, of course, tells of future glory for the Overwatch pretenders, and Twitch chat
You're really stretching here.
So,
you're
fine.
Really struggling.
Look. I'm also monitoring Twitch chat at the moment because they have to suffer through the overtime, not overtime, but the contested beeping, and I just I feel so bad for our glorious viewers. We have all 33 of them to thank. Thank you very much. I think I'm one of them, though, so I guess I can't really say thanks to myself.
Same. I'm another one of them. So, hey.
Damn it. And then my glorious wife is another one of them, so that's 3. So to all 30 of you that aren't us, thank you guys very much for tuning in. We are, of course, now... It looks like we're going to... Is that correct, Forebears? Am I seeing Ilios for Control?
Correct. We are seeing Ilios here for Control. We're also seeing a couple of subs come out. It looks like Delete Brig or Moisty, depending on who you know him as, is going to be brought in. And he's going to be coming in for Nico. And I think, excuse me, oh gosh. And I think he's going to be the only sub coming in. They did have Hornet sort of standing by. They were talking about subbing him in for Cypher. Hornet, known as a flex support tank player here for Lightbringers. And hey, we'll see if Cypher's internet, AT&T, not sponsored by the way, is going to be enough to handle for the rest of this matchup.
Thank God we don't have 33,000 people watching this stream, because I guarantee that would have been a bit of a thing.
I mean, this is more of an anti-advertisement. Like, I don't
like-
know anyone who has AT&T. I have my own private fiber network.
Ooh,
so
look at you.
yeah, right.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I have a company which shall go unnamed, because I think if they're listening, they might just throttle me, because we live in a police state. Anyways, moving on. Wow, holy crap. What is that? I didn't even notice. So once again, we are going to be going to Ilios. Forebears, we have not seen a lot of Ilios play.
No,
What are we
a lot
going
of
to be
people-
looking at?
A lot of people have really shown a favor to Oasis, but in Ilios, we're going to be seeing, I'm guessing, a lot more Pharah play, a lot more Lucio play, and a lot more Doomfist play from the side. I mean, I'm actually going to take my words back on the Doomfist play, because I don't know how the nerfs have really affected his viability, but we're going to be seeing, well, a lot more environmental kills too, that's for sure.
Yeah,
so
I think that's accurate.
I love Ilios as a map just because I really like all the different routes that are available over to the point, and of course it's always that risk reward of like, hey, do I want to stay on point, or do I want to take these really interesting angles with that Widowmaker, with those ashes, and trying to get picks, because pick potential in many ways is such a big thing, because the spawn advantage, rather, there isn't any. Both teams are at equal points from the point itself.
Yeah, I dig it. I definitely do agree. Honestly, my thoughts on Ilios really boil down to one thing and one thing only, which I'm not seeing from this particular SWIYA setup right now.
Do tell.
Boop comp, boop comp, boop comp. Now, granted, this isn't the best boop comp, but we're also looking forward to seeing some Pharmacy, and neither teams are going to be busting it out.
No, it looks like it is going to be a bit more of a traditional Goats versus an Ana Goats setup from the side of SWIYA to LB, respectively. Now, why do you think people are running Goats comp, besides the fact that, oh, you know, it's strong? Why do you think that SWIYA has elected to use the Moira variant here?
Area healing. It's going to be negated by the Diva, but they were looking for some area healing.
Right, and it looks like we're going to be seeing that a lot right now, as both teams are just taking the point right now. And we're just brawling back and forth. No kills just yet, but we are seeing a lot of good ult charge coming in. Aeon does pick up Pig Dog. I think that is going to sort of eke SWIYA off the point right here. Coxbox getting the pick over on Delete Brig and Sipto, and that's going to be it. Officially getting 2 on the boop on Costanza and Dork, finishing out here over on Silver Stacks. Let's start talking about ultimates.
So that was an incredible brawl, and so we have lots of ultimate charge coming out from, but the Silver Stack switches! He drops from Moira, losing a Coalescence and switching over for those glorious anti-nades and sleep darts. That's going to be throwing up against a Cypher ult that is almost about to come online, and a friggin' Shatter, and there's the rally. That's a lot of armor they're going to have to get through.
Of course, and Pig Dog is going to be trying to go in. It looks like he will catch a Shatter to his face, and even though Lightbringers has a lot of anti-status effects on them, it looks like Figs will get that early pick over on Silver Stacks. Silver Stacks, I'm noticing, is a target for LB almost every single time they go into a team fight. Coxbox getting 2 on Sipto and Pig Dog, and 3 now here over in Moisty. Dork getting the pick here over on Jakaro, and I think they're going to stagger Costanza as much as possible.
So that was one of the most disgusting sleep darts that I ever saw. We actually got to catch that live as Cypher just kind of casually pop sleep dart right into Costanza's mech, neutralizing them for a very temporary brief moment. But as we know in Overwatch, that's all the time you need to get that D-mech. That's an ult apocalypse coming online, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course, and that's going to be 4 ults coming in. Let's see if I can count them all. And that's going to be a rally, a grab, and it looks like a nano and bomb come out. Just double grab. Aeon, Official, and Coxbox winning out that team fight. Pig Dog with only a sliver of health left to his name. Dork rounding out that piece of SWIYA pie. Everyone's getting a slice as Figs does get that last pick over on Silver Stacks. Chiharo does look to reset. And just look on the side of Lightbringers how many ultimates they already have online again.
But look at SWIYA. They managed to... So, again, it's not that they managed to keep them, but they have a nano and a barriers coming online. And if it's going to be a point retake, those are the ults you kind of want.
Of course. And it looks like here on 95, it looks like there is going to be a shatter here on Pig Dog. There's going to be a reverse shatter on the side of Coxbox and that sound barrier coming in here from Figs. Now SWIYA is just really gunning for the point. That nano over on Aeon is going to be important in just making sure everyone stays alive right now and getting those defense matrices active and alive. Fishling here over on Lightbringers, or rather Moisty. Big Dog getting 2 on Fishling and Figs, and I think this might go the side of SWIYA this time. Are we going to be seeing a reverse sweep here on this point? Coxbox with the nano, and I think he's going to win the round of battle, but no, because Dork and Coxbox both get shattered. Big Dog going for the charge, does get slept. And that Zarya Jaharo just coming in from around. He's still high charge. That nuke comes out just to give SWIYA that staying power. Coxbox can pick over Costanza. Now it is still a 2v2. And they do just stay off point for just a slight bit, as that grab forces people on point and pushing SWIYA out.
If I were Delete Brig right now, I would be fuming at Overwatch's algorithms, my own latency, and just the sheer ridiculosity of how Overwatch works sometimes. I personally would swear within a shadow of a doubt that they were standing within the points barriers, but Uncle Jeff Kaplan is the god of this game, and we are now going to have to move to Ruins with a 1-round map point lead for this particular map with Lightbringers, and it looks like both teams are going to be busting out the Widowmakers for this very appropriate map. As always, we say Ilios is one of those maps where you get to see almost every single comp in action. It looks like Lightbringers are going to be busting out a good classic, new classic dive against a modified Goats.
You know, I do think it is more of a modified Goats. I'm questioning if Silversax and Sipto can handle healing up 3 tanks by themselves, and without that Brig AoE coming in. Dork getting the pick here on Moisty. Moisty known to be one of the better, if not like top 2 Widows in the league in my in my own tier list. But you know, Fishling showing people who's boss, gonna pick up on Jaharo. Sipto and Costanza getting those picks. It is still anyone's game. It is a 3v3 as Aeon picks off Big Dog, but no, looks like they will be able to regroup, and this will be closer to a Lightbringers point than not. Dork getting 2 on Costanza. Once again, his Tracer coming in very clutch. I really like how, because Dork and Fishling have an overlap in hero pools, you're able to get a lot more of that flexibility on the side, which hits against play.
So I want to say also that I think the MVP right now is absolutely Ana's anti-nades, where Silversax has been doing, and again, based on their old charge alone, doing some incredible work as a healer. Cypher, that anti-nade at the end there, making sure that no one is going to be able to survive. That's just really bad. And there it is, anti-nades, boom! That could have been an easily salvageable situation for that Winston, but that's not going to be the case.
And it looks like just on the coattails that Big Dog is going to get that nano, and it looks like Figs is looking to kite him. Figs and Cypher both looking to kite him. I don't think that nano got as much value as they anticipated, but in the backline, Dork does get the pick here over on Silversax. Aeon does go down, but Nuke is devoted to the cause and catches Jaharo. In the meanwhile, Cypher and Dork each getting a pick of their own. That DPS Ana really showing who is boss, as Nano is online for Cypher and ready to use this next fight.
No Zarya likes to be caught with their bubbles down, but no Zarya likes when they mistime their bubbles. And I'm not sure if Jaharo mistimed it or not. I think they did the best they could in the circumstances that they were given, but that was absolutely an ultimate that they could have survived, and again with another 40 ult beam charge out of it. But that's just really rough times. And now it looks, again, we're still seeing no changes except that they have abandoned the Widowmaker entirely, and I think they've done, Delete Brig has now gone to
instead of going for, you know, Delete Brig is playing a Brig right now. That's gonna be a big anti on the side of SWIYA, and looks like that nuke doesn't catch anyone. Aeon and Coxbox each getting a pick on Silversax and Sipto. You know, those SWIYA supports must not be having a fun day right now. They must be thinking, hey, you know, I always get killed really fast, and I'm getting no playtime. But it looks like Costanza with that Diva does get 3, and this will end up, you know, I think it will end up being a SWIYA point if they can handle Dork's insane Tracer. But it looks like Sipto will get that final blow, as we're going to be seeing, kind of similar to the last round, that as soon as they were on 99, they were able to take the point and hopefully go for the better.
So it's rough to be SWIYA right now. Lightbringers did their duty. They did exactly what they needed to do. They stalled to 99%. They still have an ult in the bag, and they're good to go. SWIYA do not have ults in the bag.
No, they don't. I think they devoted maybe one too many ults over to that last team fight, and it looks like both Coxbox and Aeon, you know, they're waiting to dive on that back line. They do get that quick pick on Silversax and Sipto once again. That's going to be a textbook dive right there, and that nuke does come out over from the side of Costanza. Does catch 2. And Coxbox and Figs, both
Three!
Cypher is
They got
still
the
going to be
D-Mac!
alive. And that D-Mac, and that's going to be wild. It looks like Cypher's looking to reset right now. This will end up being a SWIYA point, and they will live to see another team fight.
So now we have Deadeye coming on, and we have Diva Bomb for Lightbringers. Meanwhile, however, SWIYA did exactly what they needed to do. They're very close to a Shatter. Grav a little far behind, but you can't say it's going to be ready for the next fight.
Of course, but that nano is going to be clutch. You know, that
Yeah.
nano difference in Silver Sox versus Cypher is going to, I feel, really handle this next team fight. It's going to be really the resultant factor. And it looks like, once again, there's that dive in from Coxbox. I think they're expecting it a little bit,
There it
you know,
was.
even though he does get Silver Sox, that nuke, once again, does come out officially on the pick, on the rig.
What an amazing Shatter block!
And it looks like right now, Lightbringers is just looking to clear out what they can, fisheling on two, both Costanza and his mech, and Sipto is just looking to stall what he can.
And that's a shame. Again, SWIYA did not have the stall potential that they needed for this particular fight. They are not going to get anyone back on the point from SWIYA, so that's going to be another map taken for Lightbringers. Really excellent retake there from SWIYA at the end. I really like seeing that. It's just, once you saw Coxbox diving in on that Ana there, and again, that anti-nade comes out, there's nothing they can do to help themselves. You know that's going to be rough times. And I really want to also say something for Fishling Sustain as a
course, go
Brigitte.
ahead.
Just, holy moly, knowing that swinging as a Brigitte instead of shielding is massive. Also, building that ult charge for the environmental kill, also massive.
Really, really massive plays coming out from both teams here, but I have to say that my MVP here, or rather for this match, does come out to Coxbox, and that's just because here over on Ilios we saw these so many classic dives on this backline, especially on Ruins, and it was just like Coxbox was like, all right, I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, and then they're going to dive in, and those anti-nades always found those supports. You know, and even though there was a Ryan shield, even though there was a defense matrix on the side here from SWIYA, those anti-nades still found their target, and it always allowed, rather not allowed, Silver Sox and Sipto to see as much play time.
Absolutely. And so what we're going to see again is that, again, Coxbox is so enabled by that. The anti-nade goes out, it's as good as a Discord. You know who your target is. It doesn't matter how many supports the team has at the defending team has at that point. They can't be healed anyways. So unless they can somehow peer for you if they have that Diva, which they did, but they weren't available, and of course it's a Winston, so it doesn't matter. Again, it's that counterplay. It's Overwatch doesn't have a lot of immediate counterplay. It does have a lot of strategic counterplay. If you have a Winston coming out running into a Diva, Diva has to understand implicitly that they can't peel for a Winston in the traditional sense. They can't drop that DM because Tracer is about to unload a clip.
Right.
But they don't really have a lot of other options. They can go ripping after the Winston, but the Winston is probably, if they have the support from their team, aka Cypher, the Winston's
Which
probably
they
gonna take your
definitely
support.
did. It looks like the MVP here might have been AT&T, not sponsored, by the way.
Rip in
They
pieces.
were able to get that point. But honestly, not to detract from Lightbringers' victory here, there was a phenomenal amount of team play on the side of Lightbringers, and it was a very, very well-deserved win.
Forebears, what are we looking like for halftime? Have we entered the big time?
Oh, it looks like we are aiming for halftime right now, and
Which means...
halftime right now, question mark. Let me quickly DM the crew. And it looks like we will be going into halftime here up until 5:50 PST, 8:50 PST. So if you want to show some something, now's the time to do it.
850 EST. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a
850
very
EST,
special
I'm
surprise
down.
for you today. Overwatch Pretenders is proud to announce their All-Stars for Season 2. Let's go right to it as we now see Game Day 1.
Game Day 1 is really, really exciting, not just because I'm in it, but because we have a lot of really, really solid talent coming up. Here on the side of Lightbringers, we have Hornet. On the side of Mercury Cougars, we have myself, Forebears. Hey. We have on the side of Alpine Wolves, Maish. On the side of Breakthrough, Hoot. Toxic Storm brings Rice to the table, and Skyhounds is coming in for Dazzy. Do you want to take the next 6?
Now, on the opposing side, we have Moisty from yours very own team playing right now, about to trip that reverse sweep, maybe, is Moisty. Then we have Lust. And then they are coming from that mild esports team. And then, of course, we have the glorious, the effervescent feline father, Cat Dad, coming from my personal alma mater, Seven Sins. Majestic Moose going to be coming in from Night Ops, and that's a Night Ops, if you don't mind me saying so. Endo going to be coming in from Action News Team, or ANT, or Ant, if you're being mean. And then we got Sweets from Nova, who you saw ripping it up on the previous. But wait! We also have some special write-ins. Nick, Cher, Solus, and Brox are all going to be honorary contenders in this particular game day.
And what are we going to be seeing on that game day? We're going to be seeing a lot of really fun related game modes, you know, some team death matches, hopefully some Winter Wonderland related events, and just some in general really exciting exciting game mode. So be sure to cheer on for your team and, you know, make sure you're watching some really solid Overwatch. But I think a lot of people are definitely looking for day 2. Now, do you want to show day 2?
2 coming at you live once again. Now we have day 2's lineup set up, and it's going to be pretty awesome.
And it is truly full of all stars. Do you mind if I take group 1?
Do it.
And for a coach, we have Felicity here from Alpine Wolves, joined by their teammates Elodian and David for damage, Nathan on tank, and Mystic on support. We're going to be seeing a good amount of my own team, Mercury Hugers, there for Cryptic and K-Boogie, rounding out that tank line, as well as Tube for support, joined with a little sprinkling of Lightbringers in Dork for damage and Cypher on support, all of which are incredible people to be watching right now. Really the top of the top. In my opinion, like, I wouldn't make any changes to this Group 1 roster, but why don't you talk to me about Group 2?
So Group 2 is going to see a lot of SWIYA and Nova. So I feel like All-Star Game 2 is going to be a bit of a grudge match for a lot of people. We have we have the coach Ben from SWIYA, and then we have for Nova, Melody Crow on damage, Ronan on tank. I called it on the podcast. I knew we was going to see him, and Wimbo on support. Then, of course, we have SWIYA fleshing it out, Costanza on the damage. We're seeing them live right now, doing their bestest. Pigdog and Jaharo on tank. That's a tank duo. Again, you're going to see Cryptic and K-Boogie, another Jaharo Pigdog, and then a little sprinkling from the other teams. I love it. Achilles from Action News Team rounding out the support line. Good lord, am I excited for these games.
Now, something I do have to say is that we're seeing a bit of playoff teams in the All-Star game as well. Rather, it very much is going to be, you know, these Group 1 playoff teams versus Group 2 playoff teams, plus guests is how I'm gonna go about saying it. But why don't you tell me, suppose you had to create a starting 6 for, say, Hollywood, who would you be picking from Group 2? And I'll say who I'd be picking in from Group 1.
Oh, Group 2, that's easy. I'm gonna send out Costanza and Melody on damages, and it's gonna be Deathball. It's gonna be just the easy Deathball. It's gonna be Jaharo Pigdog. They seem to be favoring that, despite their goat's tendencies. I think they'll do a really good job with that comp. And then it's gonna be Achilles and Silver Sacks on the support.
Really? Okay. Yeah, and for me, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit more of a difficult choice. I do have to say Cryptic and K-Boogie, just with that incredible team synergy, and there's incredible tanks in their own right coming up on the tank here for Group 1. I think that Cypher and Toop are going to be an incredible duo. They do have synergy from their Ascenders team, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Ascenders action coming in soon. So be sure to get your teams all ready to go. But I think Cypher and Toop are going to be phenomenal. And honestly, I can't overstate how integral Dork is going to be for DPS here for this lineup. And I think I'm going to run with David here because I believe Dork and Elodian have similar hero pools. So Dork and David, Cryptic and K-Boogie, Cypher and Toop. I think that's a group that's going to be nigh unbeatable here in All-Star Game.
Wow, I think that makes perfect sense, but I'm going to stack my Group 2 up against your Group 1. We've got about 2 minutes left in halftime, ladies and gentlemen, so we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back coming at you with Game 3. Is Lightbringers going to run away with this, or is SWIYA about to mount the reverse sweep? Find out soon as we step away for a momentito. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Overwatch Pretenders semifinals versus Lightbringers and SWIYA. Lightbringers, as we are about to update correctly, is leading the match 2-0.
That's true, but you know, that doesn't mean that single woman in your area, or SWIYA, as we like to call them, aren't completely out of the race just yet. I think it's going to be a really, really fun map, and the map that they've chosen is Volskaya. Tell me a little bit about Volskaya. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? How do you feel?
So, I just want to clarify for the second here. 4Bears on the stream likes to play support. I am an ex-support main, and I now do pretty much tank, but I flex when I need to. So, on the topic of Volskaya, I pretty much have to say... I despise the map. It typically goes one of two ways for me in comp. Either we rack up scores like 5-4, 7-6, or I'm looking at, 1-zip with full holds on either point. And now, granted, I do super like doing the pulled pork mentality, the Orisa hog, but just attacking it is such a nightmare.
I love this map for a different reasons.
Called it!
Because I love playing, of course, support on this map, and just always going around the edge. Dive is a personal favorite of mine, so we end up playing. But it looks like just for this map, we're going to be seeing a classic Hanzo Zarya comp from both sides with a double sniper.
I friggin' love double sniper. I wish it would come back more often. I feel like we get such great play. And here we are. Now we're going to see both Widowmakers set up. Lightbringers has taken the sight line that they're not really going to get much advantage out of. And now we're going to see Dork. They're not really sure what to look at. Maybe they set up everything, but they might know where they're coming. And now they're going to be rotating around the point. Lightbringers is going to go back to the point now as they are going to surrender functionally the high ground of SWIYA. And Lightbringer opens up with a pick on Fishling. That's going to be the signal, but Dork wins the Widow battle. It's now a 1v1 at both snipers. Costanza has abandoned the point. I don't know what happened. Dork picks up Silver Sacks. This push is effectively over, but they're still going to go in anyways with only 3 people to combat 4 for Lightbringers.
And I think that was an accidental jump from the side of Costanza, by the way. So it looks like as this team fight is wrapping up, I can't help but think that that an Ashe would be a really, really good pick here. But we still gotta respect the sidelines. We still gotta respect the ult charge that a lot of these people are coming up right now. Delete Brig. Actually in the pick here on Dork.
Yeah, that was amazing. What an incredible pick. And yeah, Bob is definitely a fight winner, but if Delete Brig can pop heads, what an incredible shot, then that's not going to be an issue, as now they have definite the man advantage on the point. Let's see what Delete Brig can do with this frankly ridiculous sightline. What? Unbelievable! Their skill is too good! Picking off someone in that kind of sightline is just ridiculous. Fishling looking for scrambling for a kill, but the kills are just racking up for SWIYA. This fight's pretty much over and done with, ladies and gentlemen.
And I think, before when I said that Moisty or Delete Brig was one of the top 2 Widows in the league, this exactly is an example of why I think that some really good ultimates coming out from the side of SWIYA. We have Sights, Nano, and Shatter, and Grav, and Dragons coming on very, very soon, but that doesn't mean that Lightbringers isn't back with a combo very, very soon. Aeon Hero around 70% with that Grav. And it looks like a Sights is going to be popped a little early, and it looks like a Mirror Sights is going to be going average too.
So, it's interesting, you usually see the attacking sites go first, the defensive sites waiting in the wings. It's nice of Delete Brig, who just got popped by Fishling, to give them that reserve, and now it's just an all-out brawl on the point. Coxblock swinging away like his life depends on it, and frankly it does. He's got the bubble, he's got the nano, he just got shattered, and Pig Dog completely obliterates him. The Dragons goes in, it's swinging away. The kills are starting to come in for SWIYA. I don't know where this team was in the first 2 games, but now I think we're seeing them. Fishling drops their Dragons, dies for their sins, and that's going to be 2 ticks for SWIYA. I forgot to even mention the first one. Poor Dork on the Widowmaker is going to have to contest with Figs. That's not going to be a pretty picture. Aeon Nova, we're now seeing stall comps coming out. Coxpass is going to be it. We have the barriers. No ults remaining now for Lightbringers.
Right, and something that I did notice was that Coxbox's Shatter did get blocked.
It did.
It did, yeah, which is why he swapped over to Wrecking Ball, and we're seeing that stall right now. I think that we might be seeing a second Pig Dog Shatter coming up in this battle with, it's just Dork on the point now, but it looks like Pig Dog will end up getting hit
Delete Brig deciding that the fight wasn't actually over yet, ripping apart that Tracer, but I think we are going to see a cessation of hostilities here. What an amazing hold from Lightbringers. What a great snowball from SWIYA.
Of course, and that those snowball results are going to show in this next fight. Combo coming up as fast as Costanza can bring up those Dragons. Jaharo coming up on Grav very, very soon, as well as that sound barrier from Sipto. coming up online as well. Playing not too much in a lot of ults from the Lightbringers side. You know, we have Aeon coming up with Nuke here over on 60%. I think we will see it this fight, but...
Oh, what a disgusting headshot! Delete Brig, again, showing that they have what it takes, and they're gonna get chased down by the Genji and the D.Va, but I think Lightbringers forgot that the whole point is the point, and with both a D.Va and a Genji attacking a Widowmaker, yeah, they won that battle, but they definitely lost the war.
0-2.
That's very, very true, and I have to say that was a dominant show here by SWIYA, and I want to say my MVP of that round was definitely Delete Brig or Moisty, just because that incredible Widow presence on that first point is what allowed them to, even when they did lose Jaharo and Costanza, to come back with that point so definitively.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
To snowball very, very easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting 2 ticks on that first push on Volskaya. Volskaya can be a lot like Anubis at times. You definitely have to make a decisive, concise victory and make sure that the point is cleared long enough for you to really get a decent tick in. I've seen quote-unquote team fights go one side for the other, bless me, sorry, and just no tick granted because the other team switches to their swaps quickly enough. SWIYA did an amazing job of keeping the point clear, and I can't fault them at all in the slightest for bringing out this double sniper comp again on defense.
Right, I was about to say, it looks like SWIYA sticking to what's tried and true here on Volskaya, and that is going to be the double sniper comp with both Moisty and Costanza on that Widow and that Hanzo respectively. I'm questioning why we don't call it a triple sniper comp, because frankly, I think Silver Sax's contributions are a little underrated, but it looks like we're going to be playing into an Ana Goats comp here on the side of Lightbringer.
If I know support players, aka I used to be one, I definitely know that Silver Sax does not underestimate their contributions to the team. It looks like, so the attack is underway. I'm very curious to see how this Goats composition will go up against the double snipers, given that they have just been revealed as a Goats comp thanks to a well-timed Sonic arrow. Very interesting. Delete Brig is set up on a great sideline. They're not going to get anything thanks to that DM and that big,
you know, I feel like
shield.
Delete Brig will get dope.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's all I wanted to say. Go
no,
ahead.
you were right. There it is. They forced them off that high ground. They do get forced off the high ground. Costanza's trying to pick apart people. There's a reason Pharah and Junkrat are the dominant DPS. And that's a tick! Unbelievable! Lightbringers managed to have enough of a point presence to take a tick, despite the overwhelming fight advantage from SWIYA. Where I say overwhelming, but honestly, it's kind of a 4.5, 3.5, 4.5 v 2.5. But they're doing a great job pushing them off the point, and Dork is going to get staggered a little here, I believe. But they still managed to get a tick.
And it looks like Dork was able to actually get out, and that's going to be really important because that Zarya ult charge is very much one of their primary damage dealers in both of these comps, right? Of course, just because getting that grab is going to be huge. And we got to start talking about ultimates. Nano's going to be coming up online very, very soon, and it looks like Silversax already has a Nano just ready to go, so we might be seeing a battle of the Nano Reinhardt.
What a sleep! We tuned in just in time to see an incredible sleep dart go in, and now they have Nano Boost in the way, and they're going to drop it on the Reinhardt just to get grabbed and shatter at the same time! And the Dragons are coming up, but this is a complete miss! I don't know what happened. Delete Brig did all the work, but the Dragons were fired high into the sky.
I think what happened is that he might have gotten booped up by something, and that could have caused his aim to go in a particular direction. What we are seeing is Coxbox here ready with a shatter on attack, and it looks like an early sights here from Delete Brig indicating that they haven't swapped off just yet and that they might be coming up on that grab and on that bomb very, very soon, which is why they're still holding these really high ground spots to hold. I am personally a fan of holding just point itself, but what do you think about the strat?
Against Goats, they have no other option. They're not bringing out a Junkrat, they're not bringing a Pharah. They have to hold the high ground. Goats can't get to the high ground. Only D.Va can contest them, and as we're going to see from their push here, they're going to maintain that high ground. Delete Brig isn't going to make a pop. I also want to say Lightbringer's very smart for not letting Delete Brig get any of those sights kills, as given that they were responsible for 3Ks. Massive shatter goes in from Cockbox. He gets started, but that's it! Wow! Unbelievable! Lightbringers is going to completely obliterate. They are going to take this. Oh, not going to take the point just yet, but there it is. There's that final one, and this is going to be a nasty stagger. Jaharo's not going to be able to get back to spawn in time if Lightbringers really wants to make a snowball out of this, and they have the ults to do it. They
definitely do.
They have the bomb, they have the grav. We could be looking at an old-fashioned Poco coming in here. I think we're going to see it. Here comes the grav. Wait, there's the D.Va.
We're not seeing a grab just yet.
There it is!
Aeon
Boom!
to dive.
No bomb. They're just going to demech the D.Va. That was a brilliant use of grab. They got the point. Delete Brig, of course, manages to find a headshot, but Fishling doing tons of work on the point. Uh-oh. That was a mech. That was a mech ult. But nope. Nope.
And yeah, no, Mechhold is very, very right. Something I did notice is that they were able to cancel Sipto's ultimate there, and I think this will still be a Lightbringer's point, as right now, once again, that same stall comp, that same Wrecking Ball is coming out, and it looks like no one's contesting this Brig, but it looks like that Shadow will be able to.
The big question was SWIYA going to be able to hold long enough to reduce Lightbringer's time below their own? The answer was no. So SWIYA is going to be going back on the attack with a time of 4:06 to Lightbringer's is 4:33. Very close, but that can be all the difference. So now what we're going to see is a potential for this Volskaya map to go up in those incredible map numbers. SWIYA is literally fighting for their life here. If they want to advance to the finals of the playoff, they actually have to win this map outright. They cannot tie. They have to win.
Right. That's definitely true. And which kind of confuses me as to why they're running the same comp that they've been running on Volskaya. You know, we're keeping that double sniper. I think they might be relying a bit on Costanza and Delete Break to really show what they had on their first round attack. But I mean, we saw how the double sniper comp fared over against Lightbringers on their defense, and how they were able to, in many ways, play around it. And I think that adaptability is going to be very, very key for them here. We're seeing really shades of Numbani in their comp, in the sense that, you know, they're running Fishwing on that Tracer, they're running Dork on that Genji, and Cypher is going to be playing that back line, and that Nano Blade is going to be their main win condition.
It's possible that SWIYA is anticipating a different composition coming out from Lightbringers at this point in time, but it's interesting that this double sniper comp might actually be just what the Doctor ordered. If Delete Break can get those picks onto the Tracer and the Genji before they really have a chance to do any damage.
And personally, I'm feeling a little optimistic here for Lightbringers here. I think that those anti-nades and Coxbox's coordinated dives are going to be the nail in SWIYA's coffin if they aren't able to deal with Cypher soon. And it looks like they're going for just a quick point presence
and
as a really solid.
And I'd love to see again Fishling on the Tracer. They're doing as much work as they possibly can. They are going to get pinned! What an unbelievable shot! Unbelievable! He catches the Tracer just as they were about to finish off the Ana. This is now officially, I was going to say it was anyone's game, but Lightbringers showing up to the fight definitely makes it a definitive Lightbringers defense. And that's going to be a nice little ult charge in the form of Delete Briggs 200 HP for Lightbringers.
Of course. And a really solid stagger, too.
Are we going to see anything come out of SWIYA? Yep, we are. They're going to completely change their comp. Costanza switches to Tracer and McCree from Delete Brig. I love it.
And I think, you know, they're looking to play around that Nano Blade as well. I think they realize that, okay, that Nano Blade is the win condition. We're going to want those stuns. We're going to want those, a lot of that peel for your support from your tanks. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that. And I think that Delete Break is just going to have that Genji's number.
That was beautiful. I love seeing that McCree using that right click, making sure that you get the kill. It doesn't matter about style, it matters about victory. And here we're going to see SWIYA with a definitive point take, eliminating as many of the Lightbringers as possible. Poor Figs is the last one left. He is going to try and stall. He's not going to make it. SWIYA is going to take this with about 2:18 left in the bank. And here we go. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. They get that bonus time of a half a minute, where they're going to, with 2 minutes and 45 seconds, go back into the final point. The Lightbringers have quite a number of ults going into this, and they are. It's going to be a test to see whether SWIYA can bring out enough of them or not. They are going to go in. They're going to drop the Nano Blade. There it comes. There is no answer. The Nano Blade is going to remove everyone from the board that Dork can get his grubby little paws on. Jaharo is just gone. I think they must have killed themselves with a right click. Reinhardt retreats. Costanza definitely committed suicide. That's exactly the kind of anti-snowball you want, except SWIYA didn't use any ults.
Something I really liked was that as soon as that Nano Blade came out, he went directly for the McCree. Like, I don't even want the McCree to realize that there's a Nano Blade before he ends up to the grave and to the respawn points. That was a really interesting play by him, going immediately for him first. Luckily, SWIYA will have a lot of good ultimates coming up. I think that Grav Bomb is going to be their main win condition here, and hopefully they can play around Aeon's defense.
That's the big issue that I have. Lightbringers' best move there was going to be the ultimates coming out. They get stunned! Unbelievable! Dork had switched to the McCree! They had switched off the Genji! No one saw it coming! Despite, however, that Deadeye getting shot down and Figs dropping a barriers on the point, this is looking like dominance for SWIYA. The big question is, are they going to be able to maintain it? Dork says no. He kills Ana. He kills Reinhardt. This push is over.
And I think that right now they're just looking to trickle Jaharo and Costanza just as much as they can.
That was disgusting.
And that's going to be a solid, setting them back another solid 15 seconds, coming up with a minute on the clock. I think that Fishling swap over to Brig was actually the main winner of that team fight there. It's having a lot of sustain, so much so that they have Rally coming in this next fight, along with Aeon Nova's Bomb, playing into Pig Dog and Sipdo's Shatter as well as Beat. Something I'm not seeing is that you know, Costanza and Jaharo, I know Costanza just swapped over to Hanzo, but are we gonna be seeing a combo in this fight? Will they even have enough time?
Jaharo being halfway to Grav means that Costanza, if he hits shots, will be able to build to the Dragons being a much faster route. Dork again says no. That's a barrier that's not down. A Shatter gets blocked. However, the kills are still coming in for Lightbringers. They are expressing their dominance 100%. Pig Dog is going to get a massive Shatter, and despite being nanoed, however, he's not going to get any kills as a result. Fishling again using that Brig to kill as many people as possible. That ridiculous sustain and damage. Another push defeated. SWIYA is now going to have to switch to as many fast heroes as they possibly can.
And that's going to be tough, giving up that Hanzo for a Doomfist and really just giving up a lot of that ult charge. Something I did notice is that Pig Dog solo ulted Fishling, that Brig, but because Cypher was able to keep him up, just pumping him up with darts, he wasn't able to kill him, and that would do a lot of good sustain coming in.
So now we're going to see Costanza going in for that big stall. Coxbox swinging their hammer like crazy. He's going to get the charge kill on that one. Pig Dog, he is going to go down. That is inevitable. A big Diva Bomb comes out. That's going to be the stalling bomb. Lightbringers take it, and there you have it. The semifinals victor has
actually
not been determined.
We have
but
not been determined.
SWIYA,
We got one more round.
SWIYA now has a monumental task ahead of them. Neither team has been able to pull this off so far. They have to get a full hold on point A, or, and I can almost guarantee this, it's just something in my bones is telling me, Lightbringers is going to get that tick. They're gonna do it.
You really think so?
I do.
I mean, you know, you saw a lot from that. A lot of this SWIYA play was, okay, they would go in, establish a really solid point presence. SWIYA was a little slow to drop. They'd get a tick, and then they'd just be like, okay, we're done. We got a tick, time to bounce out and rinse and repeat, and really winning out this game of attrition. And I think that attrition is what they're going to be going for. You know, Lightbringers coming in with a Bastion or Risa Hog comp. We're going to see that pulled pork. Looks like you're getting your wish. I think Aeon on Reaper is a bit of an interesting pick, and I'm looking forward to seeing how all those factors play into a really solid Ana Goats here from SWIYA. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't wanna mince words here. I'm not entirely crazy about SWIYA's Goats here on Volskaya.
Defense Goats is my least favorite thing to run on Volskaya. Volskaya is a game of high grounds, especially when it comes to this point defense. You have it surrounded by all sides on ridiculously tasty high ground. They're not taking advantage of any of it. We are going to see, however, a counter... I mean, sorry, it's mirror comp. It's 100% mirror comp from both teams.
Oh, never mind. They did swap. All right. I am a liar.
But here we go. Both Goats are now going to impact. This is Goats v Goats. Who has the bigger horns? We're about to find out. The nades have come out. We're seeing a lot of tasty armor being distributed from the Brigidas, and the Fire Strikes are going out. It's just an absolute massive brawl. Anyone's game at this point, but we see the first charge coming out from Coxbox. That's going to be a lot of charge for the Dork and Zarya. And boom, there it is! Jaharo manages to get the first kill on Coxbox. That is going to be the end of the push. Without your Reinhardt, Goats is useless. And now the kills start coming in for a little bit of tasty ult charge. And that is going to be a lot of ult charge now for SWIYA as they full up a Nano, a Rally, a Shatter, Grav. Whew!
Of course, and you know, something I did like was that I was totally expecting to see a Shatter from Pig Dog there because he got that around 8 seconds into the fight. And I was expecting that, but just showing that level of restraint and thinking to themselves, all right, we might need Rally for next push is going to be key, and rotating their ults really well is where Goats really shines.
I'm afraid that I've cursed the Lightbringers by saying that by starting to say that they had won. So here we're going to see Lightbringers coming in. They are going to pop their own Rally. Again, a truckload of HP. That's going to be countered by Delete Brig's Rally. Of course, the irony. And there it is, a big Grav coming in before the Shatter. Not what you normally see. Are the kills going to come out of it? They are. Fishling's going to go down. That's going to be a DMX. The Reinhardt goes in. Let's see how much ult charge SWIYA can get before Lightbringers pulls out.
And something I'm noticing is that they really wanted to kill Dork there just because a high charge Zarya is one of the scariest things in the world aside from like a nano Bob in my book or a really overconfident Lucio on Ilya as well.
Yeah.
But it looks like he was able to get out, and that's going to really put Lightbringers, I feel, a step up on this ultimate advantage coming in on this next fight. We do see both support ults and Shatter and Grab coming out. I'm expecting to see maybe a Grab bomb here, or maybe even a Shatter then Grab.
Let's see what happens. Cockbox has the shield. He should be dropping that. He has the bubble. He shatters right into Pig Dog's shield. Nothing happens. Diva Bomb goes out. That is going to catch Pig Dog. I don't know what happened. Stunned, maybe. It is also going to catch Ana. Not even sure how that happened. Jahar's going to pick up the other Ana, and then we're going to see an all-out brawl on the point, but it's going to be favoring the Lightbringers. They're going to be cleaning up as much as they can, but SWIYA is holding on as much as they can. Siptocious holds on to his ult. Costanza is, as much as they can, they're going to get the bubble. Joharo manages to demech Aeon Nova on the Diva. Well done there. They're going to try and get out. It's probably not going to happen. Delete Brig is going to get stunned on the point. They are not going to be able to make it back to the point to stall long enough. That's going to be a minute 53 left. Big shatter comes out from Pig Dog. He's not going to be able to make it. Fishling managed to stun them. Swit A is still not captured. SWIYA can't get anyone on the point, and that's it. It's going to fall to Lightbringers.
Are you out of breath yet? Because that was an insane push here by Lightbringers and a fantastic stall too.
Is that it? I think that's it for SWIYA.
I still believe in the single one from my area, that's for sure.
No, so the grab has come in. We're gonna see the barriers. Fishling kills Costanza. We didn't even catch it on camera. No other kills coming in right now. A massive shatter from Coxbox. They're gonna not pick up anyone, but the teammates are pilling it in. The grab of their own comes out. They clear the point. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Lightbringers takes the tick. They win the map. You're looking at your semi-finals victors in the form of Lightbringers, who will go on to face the Alpine Wolves in the Overwatch Pretenders Grand Finals Season 2.
Play of the game.
And let's check out this play of the game real quick. Is it going to be that same Nano Blade? Are we going to be seeing shades of Nambani here? And it looks like we will. And here we are. You know, he gets a quick pick. He's like, you know what? I want to take out Moisty immediately. Picking up on Silver Sack and Sipto. It sucks because I know for a fact I will never be as good of a Genji as that.
Yeah, I just...
Like, it's always tragic seeing those so intense play of the games, that's for sure.
So I also want to comment on Dork's flexibility here. It's always, I always find it interesting when you switch up to the triple compositions, triple anything, who's the flex? Who's the one who moves onto that additional role? And in this case, it's Dork on that Zarya, which, to be fair, with that Genji tracking and that flicking, I think that's a perfectly acceptable choice. And, you know, the other thing I love too is just flexing isn't enough. Knowing the roles is also important. And here you saw they had the grab timing, they had the placement, they had everything that needed to happen. I think Dork's probably my MVP of that particular map. That was unbelievable.
Right. I'd have to say, you know, Dork's my MVP. I also got to give it up for Coxbox for sure.
Oh yeah.
Right. And of course, Cypher's internet. That's gonna be my. If there was like if there was a least valuable player, I think it'd be that. I don't think anyone likes having their ping spiked or anything similar.
Right, and it's just miserable. It looks like we have actually decided that the final match will not be played, given that this is the playoffs and it is the semifinals. Since Lightbringers have secured a 3-0 map differential, that is going to be the match, and the game has gone to the wondrous, the ineffable, the Lightbringers, and it looks like we might be going into a bit of an exhibition. But we have a special treat for y'all today. We are going to be doing something absolutely unheard of for Overwatch Pretenders. I'm just kidding.
Are we?
We have the post-game. We're grabbing an invite, are we not?
Are we grabbing invite? That's right. I wonder if those polls ever came out. Otherwise, hey, let's just grab one of our own, what's the word, MVPs. You know, I don't think a poll went out, but I would love to talk to Dork here. What do you think?
I would. I think we should grab Dork.
Alrighty, let me quickly message him, and or if any of the admins could just say, hey, Dork, hop in here, dude.
They might not be able to join Caster, so if they're not, let us know, and we will adjust accordingly.
Alrighty. I'll be right back. Let me grab him real quick.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. This has been Overwatch Pretenders Semifinals. Again, don't forget to catch the incredible Grand Finals Season 2 between Lightbringers and Alpine Wolves. Despite the dominance of Alpine Wolves, I think Lightbringers has demonstrated here tonight that they are absolutely a contender for the top slot on the server in the league itself. Special thanks to SWIYA. They did an amazing job today, and that map on Volskaya was some really good Overwatch. Really like seeing it there. Also want to remind everyone that we have the All-Star Game Days, Game Day 1, Game Day 2, gonna be an absolutely amazing time. We are going to, again, try to bring Dork in, our most recent play of the game earner, for an interview, and we're looking forward to speaking with him. We're just gonna grab Four Bears and have him come in here, and we're gonna have a good time.
Hola.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
Well, congratulations. You were named as our personal MVP. It looks like the polls didn't come out, but I don't think anyone would disagree in saying that, hey, your play was incredible. How are you feeling right now? Congrats on making it to the grand finals.
I'm feeling great. I feel like Cypher was the real MVP. She hit some fat anti-nades.
So we only saw yourself in the remainders of the players left in the game, so we wanted to make sure we had someone who was live. But absolutely, so we want to give shout outs to Cypher despite their ridiculous internet connectivity. We also want to give a shout out to Coxbox, who is doing some incredible tank work, and of course Fishling. I mentioned this earlier in the game, but does Fishling know that Tracer's out of the meta?
Yeah, because he wasn't playing like it was.
Yeah, the picks were too real.
Yeah.
Well, Tracer's meta now, no matter how you play her.
You heard it first. Tracer's meta right now, and Fishling's showing us why that's going on. I have to ask on that ult on that Nanoblade over in Volskaya, where you first went you got one slash on the Zarya and you dove immediately for that McCree. What was the big idea going in for your direct counter as someone who could just stun you and right click you? And were you just like, no, I want to kill him immediately, or what was going through your mind? It was just like red person die now.
I think it was just more this guy has less HP and I can just dash and slash him and he just dies, and then I could just chain combos from there. I probably could have killed Zarya, but yeah, that I don't know if he had stun or not. That's probably a bad idea.
No, I mean, you definitely did your duty looking at the ultimate charges and the game at the time. I feel like that was absolutely the correct decision. Again, McCree, like you said, it's a tasty target. He's got enough HP that you can ace him, and then off you go. So really well done there. Yet again, we're going to bring you in because this is, really solid performance the whole time. However, you must now look to the future. What are you thinking about for Alpine Wolves?
They 4-0'd us last time, if I remember. And we know David and Elodian are both strong players, and the rest of their team also is really good. I don't know, we're just looking to play Overwatch, and even if we don't win, I'll still be really content with our season win.
I think you guys should be 100%
enough.
content. You guys made it to the grand finals. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's insane. I have one last question, and that's, hey, congrats on also making it into All-Star Game in your group. How are you feeling coming up playing with those teammates that you're also going to be facing the finals along with some Mercury Cougar highlights? How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. We scrimmed, or at least I scrimmed we scrimmed a bit more, but I only made one. And everything just looked really good. We all seemed to have some already pre-built synergy, and we're looking to just win.
All right. Well, in any case, be sure to check out the grand finals. I think it's to be decided when that's coming up, as well as the All-Star Games coming up, to my knowledge, January 11th and 12th of next year. On behalf of all of us, we hope you have a really, really happy holiday. We can't wait to see you guys over in the next season. And hey, be sure to cheer on Dork, the rest of the Lightbringers, and Alpine Wolves coming up in the grand finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Threepwood, joined by the illustrious big brother Four Bears. Thank you all for joining us for the semifinals tonight. SWIYA versus Lightbringers. Lightbringers taking it to Alpine Wolves in the grand finals. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you for the championship.
See ya.